I had every intention of being done for the night. And maybe I am. Maybe this clip will just be a reminder to myself to make another video, expands on it a little bit. This is what I was just thinking about though, is a little while earlier tonight I had a shot that I was having some issue with, and I pivoted the ball in eventually and fired a wrecking ball. And so since then I have been doing a lot of pivoting of the balls. The balls are going in. It just happens. You know, it works for a while and I think, okay, let's do this from now on, and it doesn't work. But for right now, it's going pretty good. On some shots, I can't pivot. I've learned that I can't pivot like on a back cut. Ghost ball works best for me on a back cut. But there are a lot of shots where I can pivot. And as long as I don't fall in love with the motion, it works pretty well. You know, even on bank shots, as long as I do it right. The big thing about bank shot, or the big thing about the pivot, is it requires a straight stroke. But on a bank shot, sometimes Obi at the last second is, oh no, you can't do it that way. I'm not going to shoot more banks because I don't want to fill up the camera with you watching me miss. What's the first one of those I missed? This table has been so unforgiving of anything hitting, like in this case, the long rail on the way in. It's taken a lot of the fun out of pool. It's been so unforgiving lately. What I wanted to talk about before my cat came down here and started bugging me and made me miss everything is approaching, I don't even have my terminology right. How is my tip, how is my cue going into the shot? If I'm pivoting, in this case, it's a very slight cut, so I'm going to go off the inside edge, and I'm going to pivot this way. The cue is moving to my left as I come in. As I come down, it's diagonal, right? But it is a left to right movement of the cue. This is the same thing. It's a left to right movement of the cue as I, not just the cue, my whole visual, my whole body, my whole setup is this left to right pivot. In this case, a little bit more of a cut, pivot. Not bad examples, did I ever mention that? In this case, a little bit more of a cut. I'm going to go off the right edge, I'm going to pivot this way, to the right. Again, not just my cue is pivoting, my entire being is pivoting from left to right, and then I'm stroking straight. That's what's happening. The only time that should be happening is if I'm pivoting the ball. Everything else, Alex, Dippy, Bustamante, Tony Chohan, everything else, Corey Deuel especially, needs to be vertical. In other words, I need to be lined up here on the shot, not lined up on an edge and I'm going to pivot. I need to be lined up on a shot and then come down Even if my cue is doing something weird, coming into position, my eyes are coming straight down on that shot. That's for every style that I have that's worth a shit, except my version of CTE. Again, my cue happens to be over here, and it's gonna come in, but my eyes are going straight down, straight down, straight down, and that has to happen, or it's almost random whether or not I make the shot. I'll say almost, because some shots are easier than others and all that fun stuff. Watch out, Kitty. But I can pivot the ball in, and my eyes are moving, and my stick is moving. My whole body is doing this pivot. My whole everything is doing this pivot. I'm putting the ball in. But for all the other styles, then I get lined up here and I'm coming straight down with my body. My cue could be doing something else, depending on where my cue is. Down on my side is kind of chalking or whatever. I just bring it into position. I don't have to do this with my cue, but I do have to do it with my eyes. And I didn't that time because I just got done yammering about it too much. Those shots right there. This table has become so unforgiving. I was shooting this shot earlier. One of these banks you can't ever miss, right? You should never miss. If I touch this short rail at speed, that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. And like I said, it's very frustrating. It makes this kind of shot where the ball's coming in more or less, pretty parallel to one of the rails. It makes this like the toughest bank there is. See, at that time I didn't hit this rail. I hit up here and bobbled it out. I had to be so accurate on the shot. This makes this one of the toughest shots there is. Yet I count it as should never miss this bank. Should never miss it. If I have the same angle this way into a side pocket, I should never, ever, 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 ever miss a shot. I do, but I should never miss a shot. Let's set that same damn angle over here. If I hit that short rail, the ball could bobble. That one I fired right in. Now that one actually went in too. A lot of times. Apparently it's not every single time because the camera's running and it's going to make a liar out of me. When I hit this rail, the way that these are angled and such, and the fact that the cloth is so old, I guess it's not sliding. It's not necessarily grippy, but it's not sliding. The ball will bobble. So, moral of this story, I don't know if there is one, except that, like most things that I make a video about, I need to be aware of it. I need to be aware that if I'm not doing a pivot, everything in my alignment has to come straight down on that shot line, and I have to have that shot line ahead of time. I have to know it ahead of time before I start bending over. Now what my cue does, not as important, because my cue could it just has to just go into position. I guess in a perfect world, then yeah, I'm doing this Corey Deuel stuff. I'm doing this as I come down on the shot. But I don't think that's mandatory. What is mandatory is everything else. If I'm pivoting, then it probably looks like my cue is what's coming in from the side or from this side. Maybe if you watch real close, my eyes are shifting as I come down because I'm pivoting, but it's really my whole body is doing that pivot. Everything about getting into the stance is about being up here center to edge and pivoting as I come in. Pivoting everything I have as I come in. Just have to be aware of those two things. I think I am aware of those two things. Maybe not the come straight down, although I've said it a billion times. I do seem to get lazy. And heaven's going to shoot well. Get lazy, just go, okay, that's good. Just come down vertically on the shot if you're shooting that way. Doesn't take any extra time at all and helps the balls to go in. All right, later.